Have you ever looked back at someone you once liked and thought, what was I even thinking? Like, seriously, at the time, they felt perfect. Chemistry, the excitement, the butterflies doing full gymnastics in your stomach. And now, you can't even understand your own past decisions. So, why does this happen? Why do we fall for the wrong people again and again, even when we promise ourselves we won't? Let's talk about it. First, let's clear something up. We don't wake up and say, today I will choose emotional chaos. It doesn't work like that. Most of the time, we're not falling for the wrong person. We're falling for a feeling. That feeling of being chosen, of being noticed, of finally being understood. And when someone gives us even a small taste of that, our brain fills in the rest of the story. Imagine this. They reply late, but when they do, it's intense. They disappear for 2 days, then suddenly call you at midnight saying they miss you. And your brain goes, wow, this is deep. But it's not deep, it's inconsistent. And here's the tricky part. Inconsistency feels exciting. Our brains are wired to chase unpredictability. It's the same reason people get hooked on social media notifications. You don't know when the next hit is coming. That tiny rush of attention becomes addictive. So when someone is hot and cold, distant and close, mysterious and dramatic, it can feel like passion. But often, it's just emotional instability wearing a romantic costume. Another reason we fall for the wrong people, familiarity. Not comfort, not safety, familiarity. If you grew up around criticism, you might feel strangely drawn to someone who teases you a little too much. If you grew up feeling ignored, you might chase someone emotionally unavailable. It's not because you enjoy pain, it's because your nervous system recognizes it. It whispers, oh, I know this feeling. This feels like home. Even if home wasn't that peaceful. We don't fall for what's good for us. We fall for what feels normal. And sometimes healthy love feels boring at first. Think about it. If you're used to drama, calm can feel suspicious. You meet someone kind, they reply on time, they communicate clearly, they don't play games, and instead of feeling excited, you feel unsure. Why are they so nice? Where's the thrill? Is something missing? Nothing is missing. Your nervous system isn't used to peace. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Sometimes we fall for potential, not reality. We meet someone and think they could be amazing if they just worked on themselves. We fall in love with who they might become, not who they are right now. It's like buying a broken chair and saying, it's okay, I can fix it. You might, but you might also just sit on the floor for years. And then there's the ego factor. Sometimes we don't want the person, we want the validation. We want to win them over, to prove we're lovable, to be the one who finally makes them commit. It becomes less about connection and more about conquest. But love isn't supposed to feel like a competition. If you constantly feel like you're auditioning for someone's affection, that's not romance. That's emotional hunger. And hunger makes everything look delicious. Now here's the part no one likes to admit. We ignore red flags when the attraction is strong. Not because we're stupid, but because hope is powerful. They lie once, maybe it was a misunderstanding. They disrespect you, they were just stressed. They avoid commitment, they just need time. We turn warning signs into puzzles to solve. But red flags aren't challenges, they're information. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time, not after your fifth emotional breakdown. And let's talk about loneliness. Sometimes we don't fall for the wrong person, we fall for the only person available. When you've been alone for a while, the bar slowly lowers. Not dramatically, just little by little. They're not perfect, but they're not really my type, but they don't treat me that well, but loneliness can convince you that almost love is better than no love. But almost love is exhausting. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It feels like relief for a second, and then it makes everything worse. So what's the real reason we fall for the wrong people? Because we haven't fully understood ourselves yet. We think we're choosing based on preference, but we're often choosing based on patterns. Patterns formed by childhood, by past relationships, by fears we haven't faced. Until you understand your own patterns, you'll keep meeting different people with the same emotional script. Different face, same story. But here's the good news. Every wrong person teaches you something. Maybe they taught you what disrespect looks like. Maybe they showed you how much you overgive. Maybe they forced you to finally set boundaries. Painful lessons, yes, but lessons. And over time, if you're honest with yourself, your taste changes. What once felt exciting starts to feel draining. What once felt boring starts to feel safe. You stop chasing chaos. You start choosing peace. And that's when everything shifts. You don't fall for intensity. You fall for consistency. You don't confuse mystery with depth. You value clarity. You don't ignore red flags. You walk away early, even if it hurts, because you finally understand something important. Attraction is not always alignment. Chemistry is not always compatibility. And butterflies are not always love. Sometimes they're just anxiety in disguise. So if you've ever fallen for the wrong person, you're not broken. You're human. The goal isn't to never make mistakes. It's to become aware of why you make them. Because once you see the pattern clearly, you can finally choose differently. And the right person, they won't feel like a roller coaster. They'll feel like coming home to a place that's calm, steady, and safe. And for the first time, you won't have to convince yourself it's love. You'll just know.